Hello, and welcome to our webinar, Explore the Power of Birst, Infor Birst KPIs and Dashboards, hosted by Barry Waymiller Design Group and Infor. By now, most people are familiar with Infor Birst and its capabilities, but a common question remains, what do I do with all this data? During today's webinar, Design Group experts will provide a brief overview of Birst and showcase pre-built role-based KPI dashboards. We will also discuss how Infor Birst compares to other legacy BI tools and how Birst includes additional features to manage your business with dashboards. We will have a Q&A session at the end of our presentation. However, you can record your questions in advance of this session by entering your question into the Q&A text box located in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Design Group offers engineering, IT, consulting, and technical services. True to our heritage, Design Group is focused on manufacturing. Our 1,500 professionals across 45 plus offices worldwide bring extensive industry experience to every project. Our client list ranges from some of the best known industrial manufacturers, life sciences, food and beverage, high tech, and consumer product brands in the world to startups that have the next great product. And we are an Infor partner focused on a variety of enterprise manufacturing solutions, including ERP, WMS, CPQ, EAM, and of course, Birst. My name is Scott Cargill, Director at Barry Waymiller Design Group, and I will be moderating today's webinar. With us today is a talented group of presenters and panelists that have all had a hand in building today's content and are ready to answer any of the questions you may have. From Design Group, we have Vinay Gautam. That will be leading the presentation and the demo. Vinay has over 16 years of experience in ERP and non-ERP products. He specializes in IBMI, Infor XA, Infor Development Framework, Infor OS, and Infor Birst. Vinay is broadly experienced in integrations, customer applications, business process reengineering, optimization, and implementation projects. Joining us from Infor is Story Monforte, Director, Analytics and Technology Partners. Story is the Strategy and Go-to-Market Director with the Infor Applied Innovation Team. Story has been with Infor for 9 years and works with various teams such as Infor OS, Cloud, and Birst, and has more than 20 years working with enterprise software technology platforms. Story is based in San Diego, California. Okay, enough with the introductions. So let's hand this over to Vinay and get started. Vinay, it's all yours.
Thank you, Scott. I think the agenda of today that we are going to cover is Infor Birst. As Scott mentioned, we'll be talking about key features. We'll be showing you some sample dashboards. Of course, there's a demo, and then next steps, and then followed by the question and answers. So let me quickly start on the agenda. So as all we know, Infor Birst is business intelligence application, right? And today we all know with this one how Infor Birst can help you your journey to a data-driven organization using nice dashboards. So when we talk about dashboard, why dashboard is needed and what it does, there are like 3 things that it does. First one, it allows you to get people used to see your data. Second, it allows you to identify knowledge and build relevant data literacy. When we say relevant data literacy, meaning let's say if you have a dashboard where you're comparing your target, your sales target, your manufacturing target, or your shipment target, then you have a baseline that this is your target and how much you have achieved, so that you can see that you can project those data into your dashboards, and that will make your users aware this is what it is, and that will be giving you a literacy about the overall system. Where do we stand and how we can improvise the things. The third one is it allows you to start showing the impact of your data on the business. So once you know that you are on target or you are overachieving, underachieving, so that you can plan the things automatically, proactively by seeing the data and dashboards. That is what it does. So the main is to get a good dashboards, and it should be a right dashboard. So if you see the right hand side of this slide, you can see that Birst is helping us on analytics, your reporting needs, and your decision making, and all those things. So we'll be talking on each one of them in detail. So with this one, let me quickly start with the key features of Infor Birst. So the first thing that comes into mind when you talk about any kind of a BI tool, that okay, how you are going to get your data. So the historical challenge in always is always a data refinement that is taking too much of time, right? And it takes too much of resources. So to overcome this, the speed of data source and changing the challenges, Infor Birst introduced a patented technique called ADR, or automated data refinement. So it's a complete extraction and transformation and ETL loading process, and it does check your smart data changes, what happens behind the scenes. So it's kind of a patented process of ETL specifically, and that is what ADR stands for. The second one is the important feature is the network insight. So it is used for collaboration of different data groups. Like when we'll be creating a dashboard, you'll be definitely collaborating with your finance, your customer support, your sales, your marketing, and all those guys, right? With this one, you can gain access to centralized data and blend that information to your dashboard. So when we have a different data sets, you need to collaborate. That is where the network insight will help you. So this gives the user a power to decide what to see, and it enables us many views as possible, many filters as possible. The beauty of data when they become information is that everybody looks like them in a different way. The third one is self-data preparation. So when we talk about dashboards, so there are three things which comes in our mind. Like, okay, what you'll be doing, you'll be connecting. So meaning that you'll be connecting to a data source. It could be ERP or a non-ERP or your in-house data source. That is what is needed. Second thing will be your prepare, right? So once you have the data, right, data using powerful transformations or ADR techniques, you'll be preparing your data. And then third thing, you'll be relating it actually data with the rest of the burst networks or analytics tools. You will be relating all those three things. Like you'll be connecting, you'll be pairing, you'll be relating all your information, and that is what the self data preparation means for. So this allows for independent development for separate subject areas while logically connecting them to create a shared vision of the truth. So basically, when you try to connect to different things, you will be able to achieve what you are looking for. The next one is smart analytics. It helps business people to go from what happened to why did happen, or to what will happen. So when the data comes into our mind, right? So the first thing is like, okay, why that there is a discrepancy. What happens? Why you are underachieving, or why we have not on time? Why did it happen? What happened? And then how and what we can do to prevent those things, right? With the Infor Birst is using machine learning algorithm to the dashboards, KPI to automatically diagnose and uncover drivers affecting your business performance. So basically, the tool is a powerful tool behind the scenes. You need not to do anything. It's allowing or applying the machine learning data-driven techniques to do that. So by sharing the algorithm behind the dashboards with the users, right, the level of trust increases dramatically. So when we say machine learning, right? In this case, I'll just quickly show you an example here. If you see the right-hand side, there is a clustering graph, right? You have a cluster group for category specific. You have a cluster group for item specific. To show your customer group 1, 2, and 3, showing the how high or low your margin is. So behind the scene, if you see the clustering, it helps you to see the margin, and it's just the data that we are presenting here, and Bus is doing their job, perfectly. The next one is the interactive dashboard. So, of course, this is the ultimate goal when we are trying to present something to our customers or our users. This is what is needed. So, Bus is using a simple technique: what you see, what you get. So, whatever you are seeing on your screen, what you have in your database, you will be seeing that. Of course, to make a nice dashboard, Burst is using widgets, and all those data and those graphs are rendered in HTML5s, and those it automatically resize your screen or responsive screen. So it doesn't matter you are browsing your graphs on your laptop, desktop, tablet, or phone. You will be getting a responsive and optimized experience for those dashboards. So it's a powerful tool for creating a nice interactive dashboards. The last one is Visual Perfect Reporting. So it's an advanced reporting tool that Inforbus is providing us. It's kind of enabling us to highly formatted reports to generate it. So once you see or generate your reports using Burst, you will be seeing a complete new feel of your any kind of report. Might be a sales invoice, purchase invoice, PL, or any kind of reporting. it does give you a like a drill back functionality so that you can drill down to your reports to the last level where it has been started. So we'll be talking on those in a bit specifically. Let me move on to the next one. The key features is again with the best thing about the burst is it is coming up with some of the pre-built industry specific contents. Okay, and none of the other products that we talk about is coming up with those kind of pre-built content. So when we talk about pre-built content, right, what it does, right, it comes, it's like some of the Infor products with some of the cloud suite specifically products, I would say, they have some pre-built content, meaning it's already ready to use. So if you might have seen a sightline on cloud, like you might have seen that APAR analysis report or sales analysis report, all the pre-built content is again a role based and created as an add-on. So it's giving you a ready to use something which is already available for you to. You do not have to do anything. You just plug and play, and then you're good to go. So when we say that these are the pre-built contents, right? So yeah, you understand your data, you're saving a lot of your time, and then it's already used to see what you need actually. So in this graph, right, you can see a pre-packaged dashboard which is coming with a sightline where we're showing sales and margin dashboard, right? So it's a I would say it's a content which is coming up automatically, and you do have a drill back, and it helps you save a lot of your time. And it's again role-based thing. So this is something which is coming as a pre-package for sightline customers. So when we say pre-packaged, meaning like it's just that it's you when you are using Sightline or any other ERP where it is pre-built, it will be available for you to quickly run it, and then you are good to go. But what happens like when you don't have a pre-built content, right? When we have other products where Verse is not giving a pre-built content. So what design has group has made your life easy by preparing some nice ERP agnostic dashboards without test data. So basically, our experts at Design Group has come up with must-have KPIs and dashboard for your sales, purchasing, production, and shipment. So uh, uh, we are helping customers to prepare their dashboards KPI with the proven techniques actually. So when we talk about proven techniques on any kind of a dashboard building, there are like commonly three steps which is used. First is defining, second is prototyping, and third is building and deploying. So when we talk about defining, it's a stage at which we try to understand the needs and clarify the data points is needed. So when you're defining, when you're trying to create a dashboard, what do you need actually? You'll be connecting to WMS, you'll be connecting to ERP, a non-ERP, or your own reports. How you'll be defining what exactly you're trying to do that. The second important thing is prototyping, right? Is when we iterate to check, we serve what is the need the user is need for. So sometime we might be having a local database where we will try to pull up few information and try to match it up with XA or Sightline or other ERP database, and then try to show something nicely on a single dashboard. So finally, once you're done with your prototyping, right, you will be doing your deployment, right? So once it's done, right, what exactly we are going to do that, right? Okay, so basically, the goal is finally to deploy it, and how easily and formally we can deploy it, and how we can control them as a role-based KPIs, right? So meaning when we say role-based KPIs, so meaning like in this case, I'm showing you a sales graph, right? Um, on this sales graph, only the salesperson might be interested in this graph. Any other department person may not be interested. So if you see this, the graph here or the dashboard here, we have the top row right here. It's a KPI row where we call it as KPI, where you have the current year order booking, your number of order, your cost, your margin. Second row, if you come out, you're getting a sales and cost comparison, and then the third one, you have a graph where you can compare your previous year sales, this year sales, and all those things. You do have a area graph where you can comparing your sales and cost and your margins. You have your top 5 customers. You have your sales by customer class, sales by item class. You have your top 5 item booked. You have your top 5 sales representatives. So it's kind of a complete package that you're getting. And I'll be, of course, showing you how all these dots are getting connected and how we see that. So this is a sample sales dashboard that we have. Moving on to the next one. This is our shipment dashboard. Again, we follow the same trend that we have a KPIs. I think you see here there are 5 KPIs on the top row, which is your ongoing value, what is your total value, what is your total shipments, on-time shipments, what is your on-time performance, and so on. So and then this is a dashboard where you are comparing your last 10 years of shipment trends, your on-time and goal versus actuals. You are also getting a report which I will be showing how you can do a drill back from shipments to the level to the customer territory and the customer level information. You do have your trend of your shipments from the bigger number to the lower number, and then you have your ongoing line items. The next one that we have is purchasing. Again, purchasing, we have the KPIs on the top row where you have number of orders, your vendor performance, your net purchase current year, and your current month actually. So and then those graphs on the KPI you see we have done for the current year, but you will see the trends for the months actually from starting from January to December or whatever the fiscal year you have. You can generate your trends. You can compare your purchasing by month. You do see a report which is a commodity report where we are showing the actual purchasing value of your commodity item by commodity class. You have on-time deliveries and you have top 10 vendors. You have purchase by country, you have purchase by warehouse. So it's kind of a complete KPI and dashboard available for you to use on the purchasing side of it. The next one is the production. Again, production is an important piece for any manufacturing industry, and we have the KPIs for available for that. You see the top row is order for the current year. You have on-time completed orders. You have your production receipts. You have your productivity. You have your quantity completed by warehouse. You have your production done by your line stations, basically. And then you have your weekly shop floor report where you can see what you have scheduled, what you have a capacity, whether it's open order, back order, and then how you can easily figure out whether your plant is running on under capacity or over capacity. We do have a report where you can see your planned orders, like based on your warehouse. When MRP generates it, what exactly it's a need, and when you have to start it, when the due date, what is the quantity, and how you can plan your shop floor based on that. So I think let me quickly show you the dashboards what we have. So here, as I mentioned, the first one which I was talking is the sales dashboard. And in this one, if you see the things that we have, the KPIs on top row, and then we have a sales and cost, we have a sales and sales year ago comparison. We have a margin graph where you can see what is your sales and what is your cost, so that you can easily identify how much margin you're making. You have your top 5 customers, your total order booking, you have your sales by customer class, you have your sales by item class, and you can see those nice pie charts. Then you have your top 5 sales representative, you have your top 5 items order booked actually. So in a nutshell, like, you have all your KPIs and those dashboard built in. So let's move on to the purchasing here. Again, you see this data, it's a test data that we're showing you here. We have a number of orders. Again, you do see a monthly trend here based on the months, even though it's for a year. And then you have your vendor performance, which is 99%. And I'll show you why it is 99%. And then you have your current year purchase, your net purchase, and you can compare your purchase in by month. Then you have a report which is item commodity class wise, where you can see your standard cost and other things. So if you see this on time delivery, you see in the month of September we have a 64 by 65, and that is where we see that there's a vendor performance 99%. Otherwise it could have been the 100%, which is a test data anyway. So you have your top 10 vendors, you have your purchase by country. In this way you can see that most of the purchase has been done in USA, and the Canada, and then India is doing like a 17% of sales. You do have your warehouse by purchase, where you can see Atlanta is the most purchased warehouse where we are buying a lot of things. So let me go back to the production. So in the production one, you see that the top row is again a KPI where you have your current order booking, you have your productivity, you have your production receipts, and you have your on-time completion. So you can see the comparison between last 3 years for your quantity by warehouse, and 2018 what happened, 2019 what happened, and then you can also see your line station by line station what is the quantity that you have been produced. This is an important report that gives a lot of good features, and in a one summary chart where you have what is your scheduled actually, what is your capacity, what is your open order, what is your back order, and so on things. So once we see those graphs, right, and I'm loading a report here quickly. So when you see those comparison that you're doing a overutilize or you're underutilized and those kind of things. So this is the report I was mentioning, that you have a MRP is giving you an order that what needs to be started, when it needs to be started, what is the quantity remaining, and so on things. So pretty much gives you a glance of all the production that you have it. Let's quickly move on to the shipments here. Again, on the shipment side, you see that we have the KPI, you have top 5 KPIs available and built into your dashboards, so where you have ongoing value, total value, your total ongoing shipments, the last 10 years, what you have done in your shipments, your total shipments, on-time shipments, goals versus actuals. So that gives you a quick glance of your overall data, what you have been doing so far. Again, it gives you an ongoing line item, what are the big ticket item that you are shipping, and then what is the big ticket shipment number, top 20 that we are showing here. Again, if you see this report, right, this report will show you how we can do a drill back. So let's quickly jump and sort it like you just sorted based on the dates. So I just sorted it based on 2020. Let me jump into the shipment where we are drilling back from shipment to the customer territory graph. So I'll go to the customer territory where you can see the customer name, you can see the shipments. And if you click on the customer name, you will be getting the next level of information that you have. Again, if you have a shipment number, if it is matching with your FedEx, you can drill tag to the FedEx site. So if it is a valid number, definitely you'll get those things. So those links can be built in. Again, the drill back functionality works pretty nice from top to bottom. And, we should be able to easily go back to the same graph where we started. So this is one of the wonderful features that we have in Burst. So let me log in as a sales director so that I can show you how the role-based thing works. So if I'm a sales director, let's say in this case, right, and I'm logging to Infor OS homepage using Infor Burst thing. If you see that the thing that I'm interested in is the sales dashboard. So my page has been designed to show only the sales dashboard thing that has been assigned to me. I won't be able to see anything else, even though we had so many dashboards. But this is what the role-based KPI, meaning that you will be seeing only the thing what you are intended for. So again, let me again log off and log in as a purchasing manager, where I would show you like how the purchasing guy should be seeing it, and with the same form when you are logging with a different user, right? How the role-based KPI works and how easily it is available for you to use it. So in this case, let me change my login ID as a different user. Of course, log in as a purchasing manager here. So Sananda is a purchasing manager in this case, let's say, and then the dashboard which you see is a purchasing dashboard, right? And in this case, again, you see only the relevant information belongs to purchasing, again, based on your vendor performance, your current year purchase, your commodity class reports, and again, your, I would say, the purchase by country, purchase by your warehouses, and of course, if you go with this one, you can go back to your drill down reports, back to what you started. You can individually see those data which you have by the commodity class. So I think with this one, pretty much this is what that we do on the dashboard side of it, and then how you can control your role-based KPIs. So so far that we have seen here almost 4 KPIs that we are offering, again, sales, purchase, shipment, and production. And when we talk about the dashboard site, will help you to understand your data. So again, when we talk about dashboard site, so let me give you an example, right? Why it is important to create a correct dashboard. So let's say you wanted to create a sales dashboard, right? So again, with the sales dashboard, people might be interested. You might be having a global management, which needs your self information, right? Then you might be having your regional sales management, right? Who will be needing your self-information, and then you will be having a field-based individual which will also need the same kind of information from you, right? So those might all work in the same department, but they are very different, right? And they need to take different decisions, or they need to make different decisions. So that is where they need a different kind of information. Sometimes it has to be like aggregated differently. So when we talk about the global management, they might be needing to decide which region of the world that they need to invest in. If you talk about regional sales management, might be no, there is a best practice to leverage within their sales team, right? Or there is a coaching that needs to lead to improve their customer outcomes. The sales representative might just want to know like how the and which customer he would like to focus and where he should go and start focusing. So though those are like very different decisions that they need to take, right? And then as a consequences, right, very different information that need to be displayed on each and every dashboard. So that exercise requires a good understanding of the business. Of course, most importantly, like the great dose of courtesy or emotional intelligence that what you're trying to put on your dashboard. So it's kind of a needing a very very special efforts, and that is where the experts at design group has come up with those important KPIs, which is of course pre-built and ready to use. So I think with this one, that I would like to summarize what we have done. And, the summary of the strengths, what we have on this particular product is a very, very industry focused product with the innovative solutions providing. It's modern, it's using your AI and machine learning techniques. It's again faster time of your values since you have the pre-packaged build KPIs, you have role-based KPIs. So all those things are getting very, very fast and on time. So as in when you start exploring that, you will be start seeing the results exactly. So it's kind of a complete suite where you can host it on Infor OS and then generate your home pages and then get going. Of course, the last and the least is not the least is trusted and secure. So once it is hosted on a secured multi-tenant cloud, you are getting that your data is not exposed to the you're exposing your data to the correct people and with the correct level of efforts and security what is in place. So overall. A very powerful tool which helps us to go to the next level on our data driven organization. So with this one, I would like to give it to Story, which will be talking about the key comparison on the product. Story, what to you?
Thank you, Vinay. We get asked a lot, what makes this burst so special, right? I mean, there's a lot of tools in the BI marketplace, and burst is very uniquely positioned. So if you think about where BI came from and where it's going, so it started with very centralized governed solutions. Think of companies like MicroStrategy. So these BI solutions were very much centered around IT, and they were IT projects. The IT organization was typically responsible for attaching to data sources and actually creation of reports and dashboards. And then what happened is there was a set of companies that came out, and their whole notion was self-service, self-empowerment, right? So think about companies like Tableau and Power BI, where the end user now has the power to build their own dashboards and their own reporting, which was great. It was a great evolutionary leap forward, a very powerful set of tools. Um, but with every positive comes a negative, and one of the issues that comes with these self-service tools is Bill may come up with his report and his version of what profit is. And Sally may do the same thing, come up with her version of what profit is. And inevitably, those numbers might be different. It happens often. So what Burst comes in is gives you the power of both worlds. What Burst does is it gives you a way to centralize some of the data gathering or centralize some of the core data elements that you're offering to your enterprise while still letting end users do self-service and if creation of reports and dashboards. So it sits right in the middle, and what that allows is for some common core components. We have this notion of a semantic layer, and we can build out one definition of profit or one definition of a certain margin within a division. So that's very important so that everyone is using the same numbers as they're building out their dashboards. Um, the other thing is Burst is cloud, born in the cloud, made in the cloud. So it allows for being able to rapidly unify complex amounts of data. It's got a patented ADR engine, automatic data refinement engine, that allows you to grab data, pull data into the cloud. It rebuilds what's called the star schema back into a cloud data warehouse. So it does that in a very rapid and easy fashion. Also, because it's in the cloud, it allows us to share certain elements of data. We call it networked BI. So if I'm a user and I build a dashboard for my department, it's very easy for me to share that construct, that dashboard and those elements with other organizations that can use that baseline for their work and their analysis. So this concept of having a network BI that allows you to share these common data models becomes so powerful because you're not having to reinvent the wheel. You've got one common source of the truth and one common definition of a KPI, but then it can be shared across various types of divisions and folks in your enterprise. I mentioned the fact that it blends a centralized and decentralized approach so that you can judge for yourself which one is beneficial to your company. There are companies they're gonna want a little bit more governance on their data, and so they're gonna provide a little bit more of a centralized approach. And then there are companies who want to give all the data sources to their business analysts and their end users, and so you can want more of a decentralized approach. Well, Burst allows you to have those models and blend between them. Also, being able to drive adoption, right? If we have a common metadata layer or semantic layer, and people really believe in that being the true KPI for an engine, it builds trust and it builds an ability to really drive adoption. You're empowering the end users with self-service. At the same time, you're creating sources of truth, and that really drives adoption. And lastly is just economies of scale with a cloud-driven solution. So we can in a quick fashion, deploy, connect, and offer dashboards across your enterprise. It's what we do with our pre-built dashboards with our cloud suites, but it's also what your company can do either by leveraging some of the pre-built dashboards that we're offering today and or extension of those in the future. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the benefits of Burst versus the traditional BI offerings and also some of the newer BI offerings. Go to the next slide.
Sure.
So the other really critical thing that Infor did last year was completely repackage the way we take Burst to market. We heard from many of our customers that it was complex to understand all the SKUs that Burst offered. The pricing wasn't very well aligned for getting started for our lower user counts. So we completely rebundled it. We actually combined a extremely large number of SKUs into one. So we just have one core common SKU that we utilize for the vast majority of our customers. And then we simplified the pricing to make it so that we can get started quickly and easily. So when we look at our kind of getting started bundle, we have a 25 user package, and it's the Burst component is about $25,000. So about $1,000 a user. So it's a very straightforward, easy pricing construct. And the other thing we did is we bundled Infor OS with Burst. It's a kind of a limited edition of Infor OS that can come with Burst. So for those companies that really want to start to get their toe in the water with more advanced data management techniques so that you can leverage Infor OS for integration technology, you can leverage Infor OS for putting data in a data lake, in a data fabric, and also for security mechanisms. We allow that bundle of Infor OS to be included, and then Burst is integrated to Infor OS and attaches to that. So again, very special pricing. We can include the bundle of Infor OS for an additional $6,000. So the entire package getting started, 25 users, comes at around $31,000 or so. So completely different pricing than what we had even 12 months ago, because we changed it at the start of last summer. So we think it's very compelling. We hope that you find it very compelling, and that combined with the pre-built dashboards, I think will provide a tremendous value to our customers. So with that, I'm going to hand it back. We're going to talk. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I know I didn't want. There's a question that came in. I didn't want to wait for the Q&A. So the question was: are all the pricing a yearly subscription?
Yeah, great point. So Burst is a cloud-based solution, and the Infor OS bundle is also cloud-based. So with that, these are yearly subscription prices. That is correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Story. I think I can talk about the bundling that DG Design Group is offering. So you have four pre-built dashboards that we are offering. You have purchasing, you have sales, you have productions, you have shipments. That you have seen that. So on the screen, you see that you have three options. Option one, where you can simply opt for those four dashboards that will install and configure them for you. Option two is like we are offering the little hands-on, how you can create your role-based pages for those four dashboards. Also the details of data modeling and configuring, and then how you can configure that and how it has been configured. So all those details will be provided on the option two. Option three is where it's just pure burst training offering. So training with some good hands-on sessions with the exercises that you would like to get started. And of course, we'll be training you on those techniques of data modeling, data designing, and all those things. But the last thing is like you won't be getting those dashboards with the last option. So we have these three options pre-built, ready to start on this pre-dashboard side of it. So with this one, I think over to you, Scott.
Yeah. Thanks, Vinay and Story. That was great. As you shared, Infor Birst is a powerful tool with a broad set of capabilities that can be used to solve, unique business challenges. So it's exciting. Hey, I wanted to mention, as we're on this pricing page and we have these options 1, 2, and 3. These are design group pre-built dashboards, and we'd be happy to provide you more detail on the pricing. But we understand that you may already have an Infor business partner that's not design group. That's fine, or you might even be Infor direct. In either case, design group will be happy to collaborate with your trusted partners and provide you with the pricing for these options that are displayed. And of course, Story walked through the pricing for Burst from an Infor perspective. So just wanted to make sure that I highlighted that. So with that said, I want to move to a Q&A session, and we do have a couple of questions coming in. So the first one is about XA. So Vinay, this is probably a good question for you. What version of XA do you need to be on for these dashboards to work? What version of XA do you need to be on?
Well, I think it works on pretty much all the latest XA version, but I think you have to have starting from 9.1 onwards, where you have easily integrate with Ion and InfoOS on those things. So I would say I think we can start with 9.1 onwards, and it works from there onward.
Okay, and these next two questions are very much XA related, so let's stay on this. Does Burst in the cloud work with XA on-prem?
Yes. So basically, if you have XA on your on-prem and then Burst on cloud with InfoOS on cloud, yes, it does work there, and then we'll be providing the data to the Burst and then prepare those and then relate it. So it does work with the on-prem XA with cloud Burst for sure.
Okay, and then kind of the same related question: if XA is in the cloud, for example, if it's hosted by Abacus, will it work with Burst in the cloud?
Yeah, I think it does work with Abacus hosting your XA services or any other cloud services. But yes, it does work on the same fashion too. So it's again XA on cloud or XA on-prem with the Burst on cloud or Burst on-prem. So it does work on all those scenarios.
Great. And so this next question isn't XA related. We're going to move off of XA, and it's really about the person asking the questions about ERP agnostic dashboard. So this question could be Vinay, it could be a question that you could answer, or maybe Story. But have we developed ERP agnostic dashboards, and have they been deployed to production at clients or just in the lab?
Probably I can take that one. As we mentioned that these dashboards that we are showing, it's ERP agnostic. So it doesn't matter whether you're XA or Sightline, it does work with those ERPs. So it's all ERP agnostic dashboards.
Okay, great. Okay, well, it looks like that concludes. Let me make sure there's not any other questions coming in. All right, here's a technical question. So Story, this might be a good one for you. Is the semantic layer built over a data lake against the IDF metadata or direct to the ERP files? So let me repeat that. Is the semantic layer built over a data lake against the IDF metadata or direct to ERP files?
Yeah, so it can be, there's both constructs. So when you're talking about the Infor built, pre-built content, we grab our data out of the data lake and we build our semantic layer and our cloud data warehouse inside of Birst directly from the data lake. But really that data in the data lake is just a replication of what's in the ERP's production database itself. So the schema and the data is a representation of what's in that production database that's coming over. But we have a variety of situations and scenarios and architectures where we grab the data directly from the ERP database itself. So both constructs exist. It really depends, but for on-premise solutions, we still see a tendency to go direct to the ERP, but for our cloud-based solutions, we are looking at grabbing the data directly from the data lake. So I hope that helps.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Dory. All right. Well, this concludes today's webinar. Explore the power of Infor Birst KPIs and dashboards. This session was recorded. We will email the recording link to all registrants, and it will be posted on the Barry Waymiller Design Group YouTube channel. I'd like to thank our presenters and panelists for making this an informative webinar, and thanks to our audience for participating in today's session. We hope you found today's event valuable and that you will return for future Infor and Barry Waymiller Design Group hosted webinars. Thank you.